indeed. So we'll start off on the pistol round. Take it away, Blue.
All right, guys. So again, we go right into it. Looks like, again, as I actually believe the sides are correct this time, so we don't have to flip-flop that right at the beginning. But India is going to be over here on the CT side. Palestine is going to be starting back over on the T. Right off the bat here, we are going to see the Tech 9 buyouts from them, so they're going to go ultra aggressive here at the start, and this is probably going to be a quick site take attempt as well. We'll see where they roll from here. As for India, again, there is quite a bit of flash counter to come out here, so if they can time these correctly, this could be a nice resistance to what we could see from Palestine, but they look like they wanted to go for that fast cut, which they really probably should have done, considering that we're going to see this big push coming into mid now, but that gets smoked off from the Palestine players. And they're going to push right up Cat now to try to work their way onto that A site. However, India seems ready for this least on position. They will have to fall back to get themselves to more secure spots. The 3 on the site, 3 ready to go. And now it's time for the gunfights as they work their way in.
Yeah, we're just really sorry, guys, that you're not seeing anything at the moment because the game's audio is broken. I don't know why, but the game's audio, we're getting some weird error in the game at the moment that's not allowing us to hear anything. And we're just going to have to turn off the game and turn it back on. But India just got a retake, and they won the pistol round just now. I think they had 3. How many players did they have alive? 3 or 4?
3 are alive at the moment with...
yeah.
3K too. He was doing really good on the site. Pushed through, picked up a Tech 9. I think picked up 1 or 2 more with the Tech 9 as well. So great job for him. Those guns are going to get scavenged, and now as we sort of, I guess we'll have to do a radio cast until it's back in, and hopefully you can tell me when it's back in, so I don't embarrassingly give too many details.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I mean, we just popped back in. All it required was a restart of the game. It's a really weird error. I've never had it before. Like audio channels are overloaded or something like that. It's weird. But we should be back in just in a moment. Sorry about that. But yes, take it away with the radio broadcast. Well, you don't have to because we're actually back in the game. So let's hop onto the game. It's a full eco by the terrorists. They got the bomb plant, didn't they? So they're going to be buying on the 3rd round.
Look, they've already got cat control. They're going to work in. I mean, India has a really good flank position. At least this player in mid, and he's going to come in and surprise the crap out of them. But now they're going to go in. They really, I think, they only wanted to play with this one, but they're not going to get it. As India just completely rips through the Palestine roster, and although they did move their way up onto Cat and onto the site very quickly, it was essentially a trap, as that player just worked his way right through mid and caught them from behind, giving them no options but to essentially die right there on Cat.
Yep, it was far too easy for them to defend against that Cat push, and the Palestinians, they tried a fast push and it didn't work out for them. Maybe they need to play it nice and slow, get that mid control, get controller short, make sure their flanks are defended, then push on from there. And I know one thing that the Palestinian players are definitely not professional players. They don't play for any well-known teams. They don't play for any big teams. So it's going to be a bit of a... You know, it'll be one of the highest levels that they've played at, probably. They won't have anywhere near the amount of experience that the Indian players have. And this is what happens when you don't have anybody in tunnels. SMX is actually allowed to go all the way around T-spawn and get a hell load of information. Now they're moving in from long. Bombs down, and they've got no idea there's actually somebody coming in from T-spawn. EM27 finds him, and there's a frag. SMX getting a bit too greedy. Now they're going to be pushing towards long, which is pretty well defended. I mean, India know the information from SMX that they are going to A long, and right now the Palestinians should be making the right call and probably going towards the B site, knowing that the B site player just rotated all the way around.
They're going to try to actually wrap this and go over towards Cat now, as you can see. A lot of players working up that angle. Again, they had partial control, but got completely destroyed. However, EM27 again opened things up here. Palestine rosters. He's going to take out Manan. One, though, coming back out of CT. He's going to be able to grab one, but boom as well there. He's going to be able to find Ritz, and as the trades come out, Myth finds another one there, too. Great plays from him as it's brought into a 2-on-2 now, but unfortunately one gets dropped on his way to try to get his way up to the ramp. He's going to falter. Now they've got 2 on the site, trying to hold Myth, looking for the sharpshooting, and he's going to be able to grab one more. Takes out Omar, moving himself up to that site, and he's actually pushed Viva back, as he's now going to try to get that defuse. Unfortunately, in his plan, a little bit more for Cat. Viva, however, has to get a little bit aggressive and try to push through the smoke. And we will see their Myth, unfortunately, falls down to Viva, as Palestine again will just barely come out on top of that one, and they will pick up their first round on round number 3. Thankfully, because of that plant that they had gotten in the first round, they were able to go for that buy on the 3rd, and not sure if India was ready for that, as, again, there we kind of saw them have trouble at the beginning, but that wrap over to Cat worked out pretty well for them, but I really wasn't expecting it to.
Yeah, I mean, that was weird. He should have got that. It was a bad smoke by the Indian player, but we've got a Barcelona fan here. We've got a Messi fan, it seems.
Yeah.
As Viva Messi will win that clutch 1v1 and actually reset the Indian economy as well. So they're on an eco now. Mythilf is able to afford some armor. They will equalize the money, and he'll buy that armor to give himself pretty much the same as the rest of his teammates. But let's see what the Palestinians can do. This is better now. They've got mid control. Actually, they're moving in for a B split. They've thrown that CT smoke. They have to be careful that they don't have their backs towards CT spawn for too long. One person has to hold the flank here. Viva Messi just firing away, in fact, and they're going to be pushed by the CTs, who will be playing on the retake. One coming in from tunnel, and India now on an eco, looking pretty solid, doing a lot of damage. The terrorists really, really badly hurt. Ritz pushing forward. Mythilf coming in here through the tunnels with one, and Omar is going to take down Menan. So they've picked up an AK-47 here. Ritz with an AK pushing forward, takes down Viva Messi. It's 2 versus 1 now as Mythilf is on his own pushing forward. Nandu picking up a frag, so will Omar. And look at that. Not fast enough. Nandu now with the Glock, unable to win that. And that's a very, very good anti-eco by India. But without a defuse kit, I don't think they're going to pick up this round.
And yeah, that was actually pretty amazing that Myth was somehow able to grab both of those kills. We saw him, and it was him along with one. And obviously, again, a little bit unfortunate there that we did have to see the round get dropped there, but that was still a very impressive play considering the big mistake. Don't remember exactly who was hiding behind back box over there on site, but him and One had been training below us for I would say about 20 seconds or more while they were waiting for that smoke to clear, and One unfortunately did finally falter, but Myth actually did so much damage it actually forced him to hide back and gave him free control of the tunnel there. He just rolled right out. Was able to take out that one player as he had gotten the intel from earlier. That player did not choose to relocate, so he essentially spelled his own doom. And then, unfortunately, too, because we had that other player still hiding behind backbox, he just took him out from there. So great play from him. Just a bit unfortunate they obviously didn't have the kit because it was an eco, and that does hand over the second point to Palestine. But taking out all 5 players, of course, will do a nice amount of damage to the economy and keep those numbers low, keep them from stacking up. And when they do get a response round, hopefully here on this gun round, we can see them break it pretty quickly and force Palestine onto an eco.
Yeah, now the real question is Nandu, is he able with an AWP? Are you going to see some nice AWP play from him? We don't see an AWP on the CT side yet. Mythilf, I think, has some connection problems, but he will be able to afford a glass cannon or maybe just Kevlar and an AWP if he wants. But I think they're probably better off going for the utility and the M4 for now until they can actually properly afford it. But if they do in this round, they will reset the CT economy completely. The terrorist economy completely. They'll be on an eco, which would be nice, especially if they can't get a bomb plant, and that'll allow India to actually pick up the next 2 rounds as well. But so far, Palestine, they've won 2 rounds, but I think they've been kind of hard fought. They've not been easy wins for Palestine, and it could have gone both ways. I think both rounds that Palestine won could have gone both ways. So they have to be careful here, the Palestinians. I mean, once the Indians get a bit comfortable and a bit warmed up, I think it'll be difficult for Palestine to pick up rounds here on this T side.
Yeah, and that's the big thing, of course. For both these teams, I believe, should mean an eco on the next round, essentially, for whoever picks this one up. So both these teams are now fighting to get an advantage, and essentially they would get a 2-point advantage. Let's just see an eco win coming off on the next round. But the big thing, as you mentioned before, is the fact that these rounds have been very close. So the biggest thing that Palestine want to try to crush and want to try to avoid is letting India get a strong economy here on the CT side. Because as soon as they can get to a point where they're consistently able to buy up M4s and everything, and if it gets to that point as well where Palestine is sitting with a lesser arsenal, whether they're forced to go for a couple Tech 9 buys or a Galil here and there, and they unfortunately are probably going to end up being outmatched with just how close these rounds have been so far. So they have to be very cautious of that. They have to try to, at the very least, again, on their ecos, try to keep picking up consistent kills to keep the money low from the India side. So when they do pick up rounds, it's not too much trouble to force them back down into an eco. Yeah,
exactly. Right, so we're just waiting for the final, well, I think it's just Mythilf to pop back in and to be alive. Actually, I think he's alive and he's moving, but he's got a problem, maybe a mouse problem or something of the sub. There is a technical issue at the moment, so hopefully they'll be able to fix that. But just a quick reminder, we do have a sub giveaway. If you'd like to take part in that, all you have to do is subscribe. And in fact, subscribing on this channel is free because you do pay €5, but you get €5 off g2a.com. So if you're actually wanting to buy something, you can get it for free. And also, if you want to support us, then it's just a bonus, really. At the same time, you do get involved in all of the daily sub giveaways that we have at the end of the broadcast. So every day we give away a skin. So far, we've given away 4 skins, and we have the USB Orion to give away today to you lucky subscribers. You've got really high chances. I mean, usually we only have about 16 or 17 subscribers on at the time of the giveaway. So for that reason, you might as well go for it. In fact, yesterday we almost had a double win. So Oscar saying he fell yesterday on the giveaway again. I'm really sorry. By the way, guys, earlier you saw that I was wearing sunglasses. I didn't mean to be a douche, but I literally, my eyes were burning red because of my contacts. So I took off my contacts, and now I'm actually legally blind. I'm clinically blind at the moment. So if you saw me in the studio right now, I am putting my face into the monitor so that I can see what you guys are writing and to see also the game itself. But we have restarted. It seems like the problem has been fixed, and we do have a full buy with utility here on the CT side. And looking at how the terrorists have set up, they're going for the tunnels control, and they're pretty passive at mid. They've actually given away mid. Maybe they're going to try and get control of mid from underpass, which we do see a lot of teams do, nice and slowly. But they're looking more organized than the first 2 rounds, that's for sure.
Omar here, trying to see if he finds any early aggression back over towards long doors. Not going to catch it, but it's Ritz from the Indian team that finds the first pickup now. He's going to be able to drop Mumus. Again here, Palestine trying to get a response here. They know there's a pretty big presence here through those mid doors, but can't pick anything up just yet. You have to be careful to flank, and again, they've got a player watching out for that. That's going to be Omar that's sitting back, keeping his eyes peeled. Palestine, again, really sticking to the guns here. They're trying to work that cat angle. They could still, as we mentioned before, they could still bring this in. EM27 toying a little bit there with Ritz as he did manage to work his way through, but he doesn't find anything. Omar is also going to catch SMX, too. I think almost looked like it goes through the door, but it's probably just the GoTV lag throwing me off there. And now, again, they go for the smoke. This is going to be pretty much your standard mid to B take from this point forward, but the flash does get messed up, and that's going to allow one to pick up an easy frag here. Runs through the doors, finds EM27. Now they're into the site, though. He's going to fall back, and unfortunately can't do so. So Omar is going to be able to take him down. Now it's a 3-on-2. And India, are they going to go for this retake, or do they sit back and save the rifles?
I think they're confident enough to go for the retake at the moment, which they will be doing. They've got time as well. But it's interesting. One stayed alive far too long. They should have made that frag almost immediately. Manan with the retake. Mythilf is top fragging on the server at the moment. He's going to take down Messi, and it's all up to Omar over at the tunnels to save this round for the CTs. He's going to try and land some shots on Mythilf, but he won't be able to finish him off. And the aim of the Palestinian players needs a bit of an improvement at the moment. I mean, there have been a couple of shots where they should have taken out the CTs a lot faster than they did. And to be honest, they've been out positioning India somehow, but just that final, you know, finishing off the job, that final execution, landing those headshots, that's something they need to improve. Mythilf, I mean, look at him, 11 kills and 1 death. He's pretty much been carrying India at the moment. Yeah,
pretty much. So now again, as we see SMX with a great opener, 2 on the op here. Palestine trying to run their way up here through a mid, but not much luck as SMX just unloads with the op. Finally falls back, of course, so they get a little close. Misses that 3rd shot, but switches to pistol, picking up another, and a 4th, and a 5th from SMX. Absolutely crazy play here in middle, and completely destroys Palestine to pick up the 4th point.
Yeah, he's given a bit of a point as they're saying, well, Mythilf, he can get a lot of frags, I can as well. But again, I mean, the thing is, on an eco, when you've got Glocks, rushing down mid like that's not the best idea. It makes it pretty easy for whoever's playing mid, especially if they've got an AWP to pick up frags there. He did a very good job with the 5-7, and that was an ace for SMX. So India now 2 rounds ahead. As we mentioned, if they won the round, the 5th round, they'd be able to get the one after pretty easily since the terrorists will be on an eco. But Palestine can afford a full buy once more. They've got 6 flashes to smokes, and they've gone for the short control. Momo maybe looking for an entry there, but he's going to back away. Yeah, they've dropped the bomb. I think Viva Messi's going to try and find the entry, but one person has to land the headshots, and it's a difficult job. There's CT right behind the wall in the corner, and there's actually a 3-man stack over at the A site. They've given away mid completely, the CTs. And it does reduce the amount of information you have, but it will make the defense of the A site a bit more bolstered or a bit stronger. Right now the terrorists are taking their time. They might be moving in for another B split, perhaps. They've got 2 smokes left. They can go for it. They try to find information on mid, and Manan is there at CT spawn. Now they'll be pushing for an A split. SMX picking up a frag, even though he was slightly flashed in that position. And you have 2 terrorists moving in from short. They take down Manan. SMX is still alive, though. There's the return from EM27, but Ritz is going to drop the bomb and drop the final Palestinian player, as India will pick up another round. So 5-2 here. Palestine now again on an eco. Weren't able to get the bomb plant.
SMX with the misbuy?
What did he get?
He bought an M2.
He's giving it to Ritz. Is he?
There's an M2 on the ground for Ritz right now.
All right, have fun. Good luck. Have fun, mate.
Yeah.
Where's he holding? He's going to go long with it?
I mean, if there was ever a place for it, I guess it would be there.
Well, they're moving in from short. Let's see if he's going to land shots. Oh, switches at the wrong moment. We might not see this M249 in action. Fires away. But he gets one. He's going for the second. The bullets are going all over the place. Oh my god, this weapon. Oh, wow. He actually gets a second frag. Mythilf is going to pick up EM27 at short. But look at this. I mean, they got a bomb plant on their eco, man.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so the M249 was it wasn't really that much worth it, was it? He could have done the job with anything else, really.
Like, absolutely, 100%. The fact he got 3 kills in itself was pretty crazy, but unfortunately, because he wasn't using like a real gun, as we'll call it, he essentially let that, I forget exactly who got the plan, but he essentially let that player from Palestine just run through, get behind the box, get the free play, which I really think is all Palestine wanted out of that round anyway, so they get away with what they want, and there goes another round.
Wow.
Essentially.
I mean, this should be India's game. India, they have players who play for actual esports clubs, and they've played in tournaments. I mean, the Palestinian players are pretty much hobbyists, just like all of us, really. So, I mean, as far as the levels are concerned, there's a huge difference. There's a huge discrepancy in level, but I guess it is national pride on the line, and also a spot for $100,000 LAN final in Serbia, Belgrade. That's also on the line as well. And I think India have lost their chance at the moment, losing to Kyrgyzstan. Maybe they just want to get back. They want to prove that they're still a solid side, and they want to get a good score. But 2 nice entry frags from Nandu. He's going to try and look for a B entry as well, but one's there over on the boost spot. Picks up a nice frag, throws down the flash as well, and re-peeks. Gets the second. Viva Messi, though. And we'll finally get the return, but it's a couple of kills too late, as he's now in a 1 versus 2. He's going to try and get the bomb planted. Nandu did a great job getting those entries, but other than that, the rest of his team haven't done much. Viva Messi is going to go down almost immediately after planting the bomb, and it'll be a defuse for India, and 7-2. So Palestine, they've got a bit of a bolstering of their economy with that bomb plant. I think they should be able to go for a bye the next round, because they've got a pretty nice loser bonus. But we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, they're on full losing now, so they shouldn't have any trouble going for their buys this round. So it'll be another probably full case. I think one person should be able to get an op. So if they want to try for the op again, they should be able to do it. And yep, that's exactly what they're going to do. That gets tossed over to Nandu, as we've been used to seeing him play with that, and everybody else gets the full AKs, pretty much full nade stacks, and everybody except for Messi as well. I think he dropped the op for his teammate, so he's not going to be able to roll it too much. But everybody else is essentially stacked, so we're not really missing anything that could impact them here in this round.
Yeah. We'll see if they're going to do anything different this time round. And India are definitely changing things up. They've got the AWP on Ritz this time, and they're also going for an aggressive short presence as they throw down the smoke as well. SMX will pick up a frag from A long. There's the return from Nandu, but the CTs have done a lot of damage. Look at this boost here. They'll be able to see above the smoke. Nandu looking for more entries. He's not been too bad with the AWP so far. He has to check his left. Oh, he finds Banad. Beautifully done, but Mithilf almost directly after with the return. And again, it's just Viva Messi on his own, going towards the B site. Mithilf knows that, and he'll be in a good position to finish him off, as India will pick up yet another round. 8-2, India looking more solid now. And it's as we had expected after seeing the first 2 rounds. I mean, they did pick up 2 rounds, but I think they were just a bit too rocky. And the Palestinian aim just needs to be slightly improved at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's essentially all it's coming down to, as you said before here, is that Palestine, strategy-wise here on T side, aren't really doing anything too wrong. Their executes are fine, it's just that unfortunately they can't really seem to find too many entries, and it leaves far too many Indian players alive and rolling. And not only that, but in terms of 1v1s, India comes out on top almost every single time here. Even in that 1 versus 2 we had with Myth, where he came right outside the B tunnel. Obviously, again, that was a round where he didn't actually pick it up, and Palestine still won because of the fact that he didn't have a kit, but that was a full eco. Brought it into a 1-on-2 and still clutched out the 1-on-2. So with stuff like that happening pretty consistently here, Palestine, I think, need to take a step back, and thankfully their player has disconnected, so they're going to get quite the opportunity to do that here right now, and hopefully rethink and recalm themselves so that they can get that aim a little bit more calculated, and of course, again, try to come up with some better strategies here as well to just maybe give them that much more of an edge over India. That can pick up a couple more rounds before this half ends.
Yeah, we've got a couple of issues, sorry, for Mumu. We have a match pause at the moment as he tries to reconnect. Economy-wise, they can go for a force buy. I mean, they can go for Tech 9 armor and then a buy the next round, even if they lose, because they'll get 3.4k and they'll still be able to afford, you know, AK-47 and armor. Or they can just go for pistol. Oh, they've got you have it. They've got pistol armors anyway. So right now, we've got a force buy. Again, Tech 9 armor, it can be a pretty brutal combo, as we've mentioned before, just due to the movement accuracy and the fire rate. It's been slightly nerfed, but I think the nerf wasn't that strong. It's still a really, really good weapon. And man, you can literally snipe people with a Tech 9 sometimes. You know, the first bullet accuracy is madness. So it's a really good weapon for the terrorist force buys. And to be honest, I think the CTs, more than anything, if anyone needed the Tech 9, it'd be the CTs, because they have the worst economy, if that makes sense. So they need more kind of balance on the force buys. But then again, CTs also have the better positions, and due to the objective being to their advantage as well. It's pretty much a CT-sided game at the moment. Most of the maps are CT-sided on a high level. So I guess, I don't know, it's the question of CS balance. It's a huge subject. I mean, I just threw myself in it, and I found myself, all right, if I'm going to continue talking about this, we're going to be here for a while. But, I mean, what do you think about CS at the moment in terms of the balancing? Do you like the direction it's going, or do you want to go back to the more simple 1.6 days?
Well, unfortunately, I've only been in CS for like a very short time. Like, casting-wise, I only jumped into CS back in March, so I've only been in it for a very short time, and like I've only been playing it for about a year now. So the old CS 1.6 days, I can only take a look at that based on like VODs I watch and whatnot. Obviously, like things like back then when we had the Deagle, I can obviously reminisce on history based on things I've learned in that time, but you look at things like the old Deagle, it'd be cool to have stuff like that back. Obviously not in such a ridiculous form, but there's some very good things about CSGO, that is. There's some very bad things about CSGO, but overall I think it's in an okay state as it is now. There are definitely problems, but it's definitely very manageable from the pros. There isn't any hugely glaring issues, besides, of course, like the obvious things like hitboxes and whatnot, but that's more of a bug thing and less of a balance thing when we look at it like that.
That's 100% true. I personally think that CSGO is a very good spectator game at the moment. For somebody watching it, it looks fantastic. But honestly, the feel of the game for me, because I've played 1.6 and I've played Source, I think it's still not 100% there yet. I still think there are some weird things, especially with kind of moving and shooting. Some weapons it's way too easy to move and shoot, and you've got a lot of these sliding entries that you didn't have with 1.6 and Source. You didn't have players like sliding into your view and just firing away immediately and pre-firing positions
and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. They didn't really exist in the games before. You had to always kind of peek, shoot, maybe like shoulder peek or stuff like that. You can't just slide in front of people and just fire away and get the shots landing, because if honestly, like some people fire, they move and then they fire and the bullets are still landing. Like the Tech 9, the bullets still land where you want them to, and that's just, it's ridiculous. It ruins the whole idea of CS and the kind of skill-based, tactic-based play in it. So for that reason, it can be improved, but, it's also got a lot of things right. I personally like the fact that we're seeing a lot more weapons. We're seeing SMGs, we're seeing different pistols, we're seeing, different styles from different teams. So that's also, I think that's fantastic. I don't find something hugely wrong with that. But anyway, it seems like we're about to restart. Momo is back, and he's been able to afford an AK-47. I think maybe he didn't know the rest of his team were going for just a force buy or just a pistol armor buy, so he's only down to $700. It doesn't matter though. Maybe he'll be the one leading the charge, and we'll see what the T's are going to do now. Again, they're playing a pretty default setup. They're trying to get mid-control with one player moving in from underpass. There's a pop flash from the CTs, in fact. It's actually flashing them, and M27 is going to find himself an entry on Ritz. I don't know why he was holding such a close angle, and he's going to try and find more frags there.
And they're going to use this now to push their way through mid. M27 finds a very nice shot to take down one. And that smoke comes out a little bit late, so they're going to take a bit more damage. However, they reconnect it back over here onto Manon, so he'll get dropped down now to 32 HP. SMX is pushed through, but they're already in that site. They're going to get that plant down. This is going to be a forced play now from SMX. He's going to try to catch them, and he actually stops the play. Almost picking up the second player as well, but he's forced back. That smoke thankfully saving one of the Palestine players' lives, but he's not waiting at all. He's moving in. Manon is it to even really do anything, but now he's doing it, jumping up and down. He finds the M27. Now it's Omar left alive, and what a clean sight take for Palestine, but now all of a sudden, it completely falls apart. SMX goes absolutely huge, a 4K for him. Manon, of course, picking up one as well, but a great retake from India, completely preventing the plan as well, so Palestine get absolutely nothing out of that round.
Yeah, SMX and Mythilf are really finding their groove in this match, and you can see that they're very confident with their aim. They're able to win all their duels against the Palestinians, who are not as experienced and don't have as much skill as they do. And that's allowing them to get those easy retakes and pick up all those frags. So really nicely done there by the Indian players. The Palestinians, their after plant, well, they didn't even get the bomb plant, but after taking control of the site, they could have improved their positions. They could have probably held better angles, but they didn't seem too organized when it came to that kind of style of play. Usually teams know what positions they want to hold, know where to go, know where to stand. But at the moment, they are on a full buy, and Mythilf already picking up 2 frags here on long and actually dropping the bomb as well, as the terrorists, with only 3 players remaining, will try perhaps to move towards the A site from short.
I'm not sure if Myth caught that bomb drop, but again, India moving themselves into great positions, and Myth too, with nobody else watching long, he's going to be able to completely flank these players. A little bit of trouble there on the initial spray, but thankfully Palestine don't actually initially catch on to his position. The M27 going to look to correct it, but again, Myth wins that trade once more. Nandu still alive with that up. Not going to falter there on another shot, and Myth moves in with the USP just to casually take him out. 10-2 now. India again, a little bit more of a reversal from what we had them pulling off in their previous matchup, of course, but now they lead the charge here against Palestine, as they just cannot seem to find those T rounds.
Yeah, it seems like really, like Mythilf is just so confident. He got an ace that round, and it was very easy for him to get as well. The Palestinians need to be a bit more structured. They need to have one person always holding the flank, one person holding the A flank, and one person holding the B flank while they go for the control. They need to have their crosshair placement on point. They need to know when the players are going to be coming out. I mean, you can see Nandu with the op sometimes getting some nice entries, some nice shots from the Palestinians, but you know, it's more like reactionary shots. It's not shots due to good crosshair placement or due to good understanding of where the CTs might possibly come out of. SMX there with a 4K coming up. Again, nobody holding their flank. The Palestinians, they might have some things right, but at the moment they're getting a lot of the fundamentals wrong, and that's giving away way too many very easy rounds for India. I mean, India right now are picking super easy rounds. It's not even like the whole Indian team just, you know, winning their 1v1s. It's one or two players getting a flank and then wiping out the whole team.
Yeah, it's the exact same issue we saw before. It was obviously in a reversed role, but it was the same issue we saw before with Kyrgyzstan versus India, there where Kyrgyzstan just was given so many flanks essentially for free there with very little, if any, distance being applied, and they were able to just completely destroy them from there as they were not expecting that. So now again, it's the same thing here. They're just going to take these duels. It's a little bit less warranted this time. SMX might actually drop here as he tries to retreat, and that'll be the case. As for once, their Palestine, technically speaking, are going to get the advantage, but they've taken so much damage in the process, and now also not a lot of moving forward based on this. They don't really move forward to try and take ground, so they're just going to get pushed right back behind this long way again. As we see those rotations coming out from India, and now they've dropped down to 2 players, and although they had a good start, they're going to get pushed essentially right back to square one here as they move from mid, and India already moving in positions to counter that out at this point.
Yeah, right now they need to just hold their positions for a bit, let the CTs spread out, which is what they're doing now. They've got one CT in mid. If they can get that entry, then it's going to be pretty easy for them. Just have to pick a site and then move towards that site. Momo is actually going to be pushing towards mid. Both players push towards mid. Not the right choice, really, just based on the fact that, number one, there's a smoke there, and number two, that it's very easy for the CTs and the other sites to take him out as they go in towards the site. So maybe getting an entry on mid, then moving in towards the B site might be the right choice for them. But, I mean, it is a force buy round or a pistol armor round, so they weren't expected to have that much firepower. And what they can do, what the Palestinians can do at the moment, is that they can take advantage of the fact that India are very overconfident and are very kind of, you know, very in control, so that they do just play defaults and wait for that aggression from the CTs that is going to come 100%. You know, usually when a team is winning, people are going to start frag hunting, people are going to start trying to pick up frags. Just stay back, hold your defaults, and then see what happens next. And if you can pick up 1 or 2 frags, then do your executes after that.
And now we see where exactly. Oh my goodness. Oh, I thought that was a double shot from the op for a second, but it was just Ritz and Manan getting kills at almost the exact same time. So both those players are going to be able to pick up 2 huge kills there. They take some damage to return it, but it really doesn't even matter now, as the Myth is just going to push right through. 27 will now get dropped by Myth. And again, the bomb carrier here, Messi, actually is going to pick up SMX. That was kind of a luck shot there, but he does find him. And Omar as well will pick off Myth, but now Ritz pushing through, apologies. He's going to push through. He'll find Omar. Now they're just looking for that last player, Messi. They already have a good idea that he's essentially in this middle area by spawn. They just don't know which site he's gone to due to that other player dropping earlier. And it's going to be a little bit of a manhunt for him. He'll go off a duel, possibly against one. They might actually completely miss each other. One spot in though at that last minute. Messi might have taken that duel, but he realizes again he absolutely has to try and get this plant down and try to win this round just based on the timer. But now he's pushing through. Thankfully, again, Manan misses that op shot. He's given an opportunity. He's got to run for this site, but again, not taking a push, not moving forward now. And that's going to give India the time they need to rotate up here. 37 seconds, plenty of time to play this. He will get that plant, but now he's got to hold it in this 1-on-2. One coming from long, one coming up from Cat.
Yeah, what he should have done is, before getting that bomb plant, is take out one of the CTs. He's actually pushed one of the positions, either go to short or go to long. But either way, he's taken that frag onto Rich, and now he has a real chance to win the final round of the first half. And he's moving to his position. Messi's got his crosshair right. He's going to push right in front of it, and Messi actually clutching a 1 versus 3 with a 4K. Very nicely done by him, as they will end the first half with 3 rounds. So a very solid performance from India to win it 12-3. But, you know, you might be like, oh, it's CT-sided, but it's not that CT-sided. It's probably 8-7, maximally 9-6 as far as CT rounds go. So India can be very, very happy. And if they pick up the pistol round, they've got the game very early on against the Palestinians. But let's see. Let's see if the Palestinians have a better CT side. Now, the problem with CT being CT-sided is you need to land your shots. You know, you need to be able to, if the terrorists are pushing in, that you've got your crosshair placed at the right spot, and to land your shots as they go in. So we'll see if they're going to be able to do that. I think the Indians are going to be very confident, very fast, and they're, as you can see, just getting ready for a really fast B push here.
Yeah, and they're just going to try to essentially cut this before Palestine can get anything going now. Nandu's going to get that smoke out. Let's see, this nade could be very well placed. That was a nice amount of damage there to 3 of the players, but now completely turns his head into the wall expecting a flash, and that's a bit unfortunate as one's going to take him down. Omar tries to hold, but can't do too well there. Finally, Messi gets a response, but it's quickly corrected, of course, as Myth moves in there. He's going to find not only EM27, but also Mooms, and now Manon finishes it off there as that player. It's going to be Messi that tries to push in through tunnels, but unfortunately, because he killed the player early, they knew exactly where he was coming from, and that's the easy take there for India. They're going to pick up the 13th, and essentially guarantees them 15 points now, unless Palestine come through big, of course, on these eco rounds. And from that point forward, they're just one gun round away.
It looks like India is returning the beating that they got from the Kyrgyzstanis on the Palestinians at the moment. Again, you know what? Nandu had the right idea. It was a great smoke, great nade, but you see there's lack of experience. He hasn't timed it properly. And the timing, you have to understand that, okay, right now they should be there. They should be in the tunnels. If they're going for a fast B push, I need to hold my spot. I need to have my pistol out. Instead, he tries to go for a flash. But look at this EM27. They're just going to line up for him. He only gets one frag. Backs away. There's a bad CT smoke from the terrorist. Is he going to find more with a 5.7? It's a pretty good weapon here. It's a force buy from the CTs. SMX takes down Momo, who's pushing forward. He's going to find another frag as well. This man's been absolutely on fire today. And it's 3 versus 2 now. Retake for the Palestinians. EM27 trying to find somebody's head. Just firing away and finally takes down SMX, who's pretty on point with his aim, but look at that, one dig from Omar to finish off the job. Sometimes they are showing flashes of nice play, and sometimes they're just showing flashes of horrible play, but that's what happens when you don't have practice, and when you don't have experience and consistency, is that you do play like that. But it's that kind of play is not going to be enough to win a game. It might pick you up a couple of rounds, but a nice force by round win for Palestine. I think India maybe getting a bit too overconfident and a bit too complacent, knowing that they've got the game in the bag anyway, just going a bit too fast in towards the site. But well done by the Palestinians, and now they've got a couple of weapons. On the other hand, India will be playing with their force pistol by Tech 9s and armor for them.
Yeah, and this is, again, here, this is the bit of a problem, as you mentioned before. We've seen these little bit of spurts coming out from the Palestine roster, but they need to pull this off consistently now, and they can afford very few mistakes. It's a nice nade stack that comes out from Palestine to hold him back, but again there, that AK not doing any damage at all. Manon moves in, takes out Omar. Again, now they've been pushed off site. EM27 completely off there, trying to get kills with the AK, but he can't find anything there. And now Ritz is going to be able to drop him. Nandu finally finds one there with the scout. He's going to take down Ritz. Messi as well, pushing back in here. They're getting back control slowly, but Manon still holds strong back over here by the box stack. Winters is finally going to eliminate him, as well as dropping down to take out SMX. And although it's a little bit rough there, Palestine do make it through and pick up another round for themselves.
That looked like absolute slaughter. That was one of the most violent scenes in CSGO. That changed CSGO from like an 18 plus to like a 25 plus. Or I don't even know what the I don't know. I actually don't know what the rating is for CS. What is it, like PG, like 12 adult or something?
It's M.
12
or in the States
M,
it would
mature?
be M. Yeah. Or
What's that mean? Like 15?
M is 17 in the States. I think it's PEGI 16 is the equivalent rating for Europe's system.
It just went to unacceptable, you know, kind of like, you can't Google it. You can't Google these kind of scenes, kind of level of maturity. But either way, it was an interesting, it was an interesting exchange of bullets there. I think there was like 500 bullet casings thrown around the B site. But the Palestinians are going to pick up that round, and it seems like they're going to pick up an easy anti-eco. So they're warming up. They're liking the CT side now. But as soon as India are able to afford some AKs and armor, though, that's the real test for them.
And now Myth trying to push through to pick up, obviously, again, not much of a hope of actually clutching out this round, the 1-on-5, but you just got a deagle, so no armor either, so not really a whole lot of merit in trying to save that. He's going to move out here, try to find a kill or two. Messi, he's ready for him, but he's off angle at the moment. Looks for that shot onto that 7 HP player, but can't find it now. Focused on Messi, he's sitting at full there, so he's going to be able to take him down. Let's drop to, apologies, I'm looking at him. Messi, of course, going to survive that one. And Palestine actually keep it going for now, but of course, those were on the ecos for India now after that first response round. Now it's the buy round, and small, minuscule chance we can see the swing back, but if not here, India will very quickly retake control. That money will be reset again, and although they could force it up in the next round, if they drop that one too, then it's going to be GG pretty quickly after that.
Blue, you just turned into a robot, by the way. I think you became one of the Transformers. I don't know, maybe it was because of the internet, but we've got an entry here by the terrorists, and there's a return from the CTs as well over at long. Omar holding mid, and he needs to just check mid. I don't know why he's looking at CT spawn. There's no need. You've got a player there. No need to check that position. There's the nade from SMX. He's going to finish him off. Oh my goodness, his body goes flying, and Omar has to check mid. Ritz gets the entry, and there's a player at CT spawn. They're both looking at the same angle at the same time, and that's simple coordination issues that's going to give away the round to the Indians. And had Omar just been checking mid, just doing his job, it wouldn't be an issue. A bit of flames for Ritz by his teammate. I don't know, he's probably trying to tell him to move quickly or something like that, but he's going to hold mid, and he knows that the final player is at CT spawn. Nando's just going to run across, and he's going to miss his shot completely. Did I say Nando's, by the way? Maybe I'm a bit hungry, but it's Nandu. No cheeky Nando's here. It's just Nandu for playing for Palestine, and India will pick up that round. So 14-6 here. The economy for the Palestinians not too great. They'll be able to have a full buy, but Nandu's only got 1.8k at the moment, so he'll get a weapon from his teammates, and we will see a play with 2 FAMASs. But I think India now have this game under control, and they should be finishing it off in the next couple of rounds.
We'll see, because both these teams do have their issues, economically speaking, with this round. So now they're going to push through. Messi, though, picks up the 2K. Nice spray control there. Takes out both SMX and Ritz. All of a sudden, there's that chance. But Manan moving very quickly up here, trying to get control of the A site. But EM27 still holding his own. He takes out Myth. Manan responds and takes him out again. But also Messi still coming out big now. Messi up to, I believe, a 3K at this point. Yes, indeed. But he's dropped 15 HP, so he's going to have to hold back a little more. And they have regained control. So now he's going to be able to drop it down to... What's up?
Sorry, I interrupted you, but it just came to my mind that sometimes they just play so well, and they just hold the right angles, and they retake properly, and they know exactly where the terrorists are. And sometimes they look like they're completely, they don't know what's going on. They've got no clue. It's really weird. I think it's because of lack of experience and practice, really. It's nice because it means they've got potential as players. Like, you know, as far as players go, they've got potential. They seem to, you know, understand the basics of the game. They've got all right aim, and if they practice and if they play at a higher level, they can be better. But you can definitely see it's a bit bizarre that there are some rounds where India completely demolished them, and there are some rounds where Palestine just, like, you know, quite solid with their CT defense. Yeah,
it's definitely a leadership thing. I think we talked a little bit about this before on the last match too, but it's sort of like without a strong leader that really knows the entire roster, and this is why European teams tend to be so strong too, is because they stick together for so long, so the IGL can learn the strengths and weaknesses of pretty much everybody on the team and can make good calls based on what he knows about it. So it's unfortunately something that is probably missing here at the moment for India. So when you run into a situation where your initial plan A is caught completely amiss, and you don't really have a strong foreknowledge of what you could potentially do, it's left you with very minimal options, and as you said there, that essentially is what happens based off that. But Myth, though, with a nice Wandig, that's going to be able to take out Omar. They now move in. Nandu, though, with a nice peek, he's going to be able to come out there. He's going to be able to take out Myth, and they now move into the site, take control. Nandu still holding that window. It's going to be a forced plan, and oh my goodness.
That was really interesting by the Indians, actually. They're on a full eco. They got the entry, but the way they were holding window, I don't know why they're all jumping and clambering. I mean, they knew that they lost their guy in short and that they just killed the guy in the B site, so the call for B was given ages ago, like millennia ago. So basically, they should have been like, right, don't jump in the window. There's going to be a CT coming down, so just hide and hold positions. But instead, they jumped in, and just got himself a nice double kill. Momo coming in from the double doors, got a kill as well. And Palestine have picked up another round, but we do have a full buy now from the Indians. And I guess the Palestinians, they're learning from this game. They're improving as the game goes on. They're warming up, and at the same time, I mean, the better the score, the better they are mentally and psychologically at the end of this match, and it'll help them in their match against Kyrgyzstan. At the end of the day, it's a learning experience for a lot of these teams here in the Asian qualifier, to play in front of a crowd, online crowd that is, and to play at a higher level than they usually do. So hopefully it develops them, it gives them motivation, they play more, the scenes develop in that part of the world. Maybe a team picks them up, they play tournaments in that area of the world, and the CSGO scene continues to develop there. So for that reason, you can always see positives in these matches, even though they will lose this match and they won't have a chance to qualify. They'll still try their best. And in fact, I mean, I think if they lose against India and beat Kyrgyzstan, they might qualify, because every single team will be on points, and then there'll be something to do with round difference. But we'll see what happens. SMX, though, with the entry, and now the terrorists will be moving towards the A site from long.
A little bit of team damage goes out there, but not too much to worry about as they do reconnect some of that damage. Go for the quick jump up here on Nandu now to get himself up on top. Now again here, India still trying to figure out where exactly to make this push towards as they move back over towards mid now. The bomb completely over in T-spawn. bit of a knee-jerk rotation comes off from Palestine, but it's very well calculated, as they're going to be able to find themselves just exactly where India is moving in to rotate. As we also see that free control being taken by one, so he's going to have to try and hold this, though, as that bomb just now coming into the tunnel, and Palestine will go for the retake before the actual bomb plant happens at the same time. Flash comes out, though, so they can hold it. Manon with a nice shot takes out AM27, and they should be able to get the bomb now with minimal conflict.
Yeah, I'm not checking the angles properly here. The Palestinians as a play for the retake. It's a good call by them to understand that it's probably a push towards the B site. And again, since one was in the B site, it's completely open. The bomb was going to rotate there. Why bother fighting the CTs, who are all in the A site, and just get the bomb plant and play for the post plant positions? But Palestine will lose that, and we are on match point here. They do have money for a buy. They've won quite a couple of rounds in a row. Didn't lose too many weapons, but I think it's going to be delaying the inevitable regardless. They can get a draw out of this at least. That would be really good for them, horrible for India. But if they do get a draw and then win the next match, they'll be able to qualify. But however, 7 rounds in a row, Blue.
I don't know
think
if
they can
still
do that?
live, but I will keep casting. I hear some noises.
You can't hear me.
Oh, wait, I can hear you now.
You can hear me now?
Oh,
yeah, you disappeared off. And I actually introduced you in, so you timed it perfectly. You were psychic, but you timed it perfectly. So continue, Mr. Blue.
So yeah, the mic kind of fizzled out on my end. I'm not sure if that hit you too, but now we see again here exactly where India is going to try to do this to figure out their match point now. Move through. Andu looking for those shots as he does catch that jump up on the Xbox there, but not able to pick it up once again. And now we see Messi again trying to move into that mid position, but they're actually moving more off the site. You see this mistake made a lot here where they kind of expect the play to be coming towards B, but they move over. However, Nandu now finds the opener. He's going to take out SMX, and now they should be able to get a better kind of foot on the ground and put their players back over onto this A site to hold it off.
Yep, there's the entry by the Indians over at long, and sounds like they're regrouping. Maybe for a B split, and one's got a smoke out. Maybe he wants to throw down that CT smoke and play for a B split. They've got short control there as two players pop up there. But the bomb's in tunnel, so it probably might be a B split. EM and Nandu are at mid. They get completely and utterly flashed. And Manan is going to get a frag as well. He's dropped from short to CT. You don't see a lot of that happening, but EM27, he'll be able to pick up that frag. And now he's going to find a lot of terrorists ahead of him here at the B site. Not holding the right piece of equipment when they ran in, had the flash in hand, and now it's just Messi, him against the world. And there you have it, 16-8. Best of one win for India.